Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out a brand new one from Popcross Studios. From what he said just from these few seconds,
it's finally time to wrap up my Five Nights at...
this is the final part of the FNAF security animatronic. This is the final episode of the FNAF animatronics as MECH armor. Let's hop in and see just what he does for these animatronics. And as we can see here, looks like he does Sun at one point. So, hey, let's hop in.
Freddy's Mech Armor series, which, for some reason, like with my FNAF Dragons episodes, I've decided to make a trilogy with an actual definitive ending. Like with last time, the story is being presented as a conversation between three different characters. Good old Benny Shop, a mech maker who actually made the mech armors in this episode.
Classic
Dr.
Benny.
Champagne McGregor, a grouchy ex-dinosaur geneticist. And Vasilia Kuznet, an armor maker from a fantasy universe. Finally, time for some more banter and armors. Let's
remember to check out his channel and my previous videos
if you feel
for
like.
those.
But either way, enjoy the show.
Alright, Champ, Silly,
Ooh.
you two ready for the final chapter of the whole Freddy Mech Bear story or what? Oh, already? Is you sure you don't want to make us wait another year or two? I don't think it's been long enough since you told us the last part. What, 3 months ago? What about
Has
you,
it really been
Celia?
3 months?
I recognize your
time
sarcasm,
passed.
Dr. Champagne,
Oh,
but
well.
will not contribute to it myself. I am simply glad we are actually getting final chapter. I was starting to think Benjamin would never tell us what happened to children he was building armors for, so they could
Yes.
defeat hypocritical child murderer. What can I say? I like a nice long dramatic pause.
Yes,
Build the tension a
apparently you
little
do,
bit.
Benny.
Like my grandpa
Apparently
Ricky
you
used
do.
to say. Leave 'em wanting more, and never keep plums in a drawer.
Wait, what?
Isn't that a pretty normal place to keep plums?
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never
To
leave
be honest,
plums
Grandpa
in the
Ricky's
drawer.
advice
I don't
always
get
got to
it.
be taken with a bit of grain of salt. He was hitting the baby powder pretty hard towards the end, you know? Baby powder?
I get you.
Please tell me this is not... No, Vasilia, baby powder ain't babies ground up into powder.
No, of course
Excellent.
not.
Was just making sure. Anyhow, Benjamin, please go on with the tale. Alright, so
was
last
hitting
time
that
we
white
left the kid,
powder
they'd
is
just
what
gone
they were
after Willie
saying.
Afton again, and his daughter Liz had taken a suit from me and teamed up with an old man.
Mm-hmm.
The kids took them both down, grabbed Liz, but Afton managed to get away again. And we didn't hear from
damn
him
it,
for a couple of months. But we figured he was coming back eventually. His other kid, Mikey, who was a bunch older than his sister, came to take care of Liz, and tried to help us see that her murderer dad wasn't exactly
Your
a
dad's
good
a psycho.
dude. But Mikey also
No,
went out
our
looking
dad
for
is
his
a psycho.
2-year-old dad, and I was staying in contact with him so he could tell me where he was hiding. In the meantime, I was taking on some other jobs, but I was also fixing up the kids' mech suits, even building some new ones. I mean,
Ooh.
that Fox mech was so over-the-top mangled after the last fight that I didn't even bother fixing it up again. Huh. Since this whole story is
After
so
the first
weirdly
fight, it
similar
was
to that
manageable.
Five
After the
Nights at
second,
Freddy's video
forget
game
that.
series from my universe, I kinda figured you was gonna turn the Fox mech into a Roxanne Wolf mech or something, since those animatronics are pretty similar looking.
True.
Nope,
True.
I don't got no wolf mech in this story, but I did use some of the parts from that Fox mech to build this alligator mech that the kids could use. Made it like
nice.
the others where it was big enough for the kid to sit inside the torso to control it. Gave it these massive claws
that's
so it could
cool.
tear through anything Afton might throw our way next. I also gave the thing these giant shoulder pads and a mohawk, and to be honest, I was going through a sort of glam rock kind of phase, listening to David
Glam
Bowie
rock,
and Gary
yeah.
Glitter and folks while I worked. In fact, check it out, I even fixed up and repainted the Freddy
yeah,
mech
look
to
at
give
that.
it a bit more of a glamorous kind of look.
Glam mech
That is
Freddy.
very nice repainting,
Very
Benjamin,
nice.
but back to Alligator. I thought you were making armors look like animals upon child's request. Why did you make this one
Yeah,
into
why the
Alligator?
gator now?
Did child request this? Nah, I was just kinda in the mood to make something that looked like an alligator, you know? Was making the mech real
Alright.
tough and fast too, so I thought, you know, alligator.
The mech
Because you'd be
brain
surprised
wanted to
how
make an
fast
alligator, he
alligators
made an
actually is in
alligator.
real
It's
life.
that simple.
I would
Yeah, okay.
not be surprised by this. I have fought and killed multiple alligators in my time, and I am fully aware
Well,
of
you've
how
killed
fast they are.
dragons.
I really
Well,
gotta
I
hear
guess
more stories
technically-
from you, silly. Your life
By
sounds pretty
technicality,
wild.
yeah.
Anyway, eventually I got a call from Mikey that he had found old Willie Afton. Mikey told me
yeah.
the location just before his phone disconnected.
Oh, no.
Figured he'd gotten himself in trouble. I
this
scoped out
ain't
the
good.
place he mentioned, and it was this old abandoned Chuck E. Cheese that Afton had rigged up with tons of traps and security cameras and all kinds of stuff to keep us from getting in.
Uh-huh.
Of course, We had to get in because not only did the kid killer need to be taken down, but now he captured his own kid, Mikey, too. So real quick,
Freddy's.
I had to figure out a way to breach the crazy amount of security the guy had in this place.
Well, that's crazy.
The way you phrase stuff in this story sometimes makes me think that you're just messing with me.
He could be, he could not be. It's kind of hard to tell with Benny, isn't it? The Glam Mech Gator. Like it.
Alright, so you know how yous twos have been complaining that I never went with the kids on their fights against Afton? You referred to our very well-justified criticisms about how you were allowing children to take on dangerous murderer alone?
I kind of like how
yes,
the
we recall.
Sunblades
Well,
are
I've been
actually,
saving this little nugget for the end,
cuts.
but I actually did go with him to save Mikey and finally take down Afton. I made myself this sunny, smiley mech suit to help take care of the kids on the final go. Gave it a lot of the work, you know,
Great.
it could fly, shoot repulsors, could cloak, and change colors. Why does it look like it's got a bunch of toast points floating all about it? Toast points? What the heck is toast points? What, you don't know? Well, what do you think toast points are? Like, pointy pieces of toast, I guess? Yeah, they're pointy pieces of toast. Why does it look like there's pointy pieces of toast floating all around this thing?
Oh, those are sun
I gave it
blades.
these hovering blade sort of things that I could shoot out and bring back. Figured it was both the cool aesthetic and the useful weapon.
Bing,
Right, fair enough. So how long did it take for Afton to hijack your suit and turn you against the kids? What? How do you...
What are you talking about?
What are you doing spoiling the story for? And how do you know he did that?
The moon
Well,
form.
for one thing, in the video games, that sun thing turns bad pretty quick. Two, I figured if this whole situation went smoothly for you, you would have brought this up earlier to defend yourself when we was telling you how irresponsible you was being. And finally, it wouldn't be the only time one of your suits got hacked, would it? What, you mean like the day we met where my suit got taken over and I almost killed you against my will? Good times, huh?
Watch that video.
Strongly disagree.
Let me know down in the
yeah,
comments
you
if
got
want me
it.
to
The kids and I all
react to
took our
Shop
suits to
versus,
Afton's hideout.
Champagne.
I hacked into his computer to shut down his cameras and traps and stuff. But turned out he was hoping I'd do that, and he set a virus to take over my suit as soon as I did.
There it is.
So then, me and my toast points here was attacking the kids instead of helping them. Well, at least you were intending to help. Personally, I see this at least as elevating you somewhat morally in this tale. Just
You try to be
tell
good,
me you didn't
but you
kill
got taken
none
over.
of the kids. Of course I didn't. But I did smash up some of the mechs they was in a whole bunch. The
There it
Gator
is.
one's legs were pretty much scrap metal by the time I was done.
Damn.
Probably would have done a lot more damage too if it wasn't for the little help we got from the inside. Turns out this homeless kid, Greg, had been watching the last month as Afton built up his security around this old Chuck E. Cheese. And then he saw Afton
Greg?
capture his kid, Mikey. He and Mikey ended up having this whole B-plot thing going on that I didn't really get to see, where Greg helped Mikey escape, then they smashed up Afton's computer. After that, my suit turned back to normal. Of course, none of us fighting outside knew why my suit went back to normal, so I told the kids that I just cared about them so much that the power of my love fixed the suit. It was a pretty good morale boost at the time.
Oh,
So, you lied to it.
cartoon logic.
Kinda seems like you don't want us to think you was a good guy in this story. Hey, I'm just being honest with you about what I did back then. If you don't acknowledge your past faults, you can't really grow from them, can you? Don't get
I guess that's
insightful
kinda
on us
true.
now, you clown. Just tell us how this ends. Cause knowing the games in my world, I'm skeptical to think this story could actually have some kind of
now we're getting the
conclusive and
moon
happy
fall.
ending.
Love it.
Well, then it looks like it's time for us to divert from the source material, huh? Divert? What in the flip do you mean by source material?
Glam Sun and Glam Moon. Oh, the Sunbeam suit and the Mecha Moontrap. Alright, not bad.
It's that time
I
of the
like it.
video again, everybody, where I tell you about how you can get all the app from these episodes as posters on the Teespring store.
Go check out
That
the store,
include the
buy some
Glamrock
stuff.
Freddy recolored armor, and both versions of the daycare attendant. And who knows, by the time this video's up, maybe Popcross has made a big poster with all the different armors in this series on it. There's only
That
one
would
way
be
to find
cool.
out, you gotta go check the Teespring store, linked in the description and the little bar beneath the video. You can find it somewhere down there, you'll see.
Link
You're
to the
smart
original
person.
video will
I
be in
assume
my
why you're not,
description,
I don't
so
know
you
ya.
can
But
get
either
to
way, we
his
shouldn't
store
delay
through
the ending
that.
of this story. You've all waited long enough for it, so let's get back into it, shall we?
Alright, so the
And we're back with Glamrock Chica.
last mech I done built for this whole ordeal was a chicken sort of mech. Charlotte Emily, the gal who came to me in the first place and got this whole thing started after Afton tried to kill her, you recall she'd had this puppet mech I built, but that wasn't gonna cut it this time, so I made it the slickest armor of the batch. Used similar techniques to what I'd done with Liz's armor, but made this thing even more tanky. Charlotte said a friend of hers named Susie, that had unfortunately been killed by Afton already, had always been a big fan of baby chicks. So in honor of her friend, she wanted a chicken sort of mech. I was happy to oblige. In that last fight, after my suit got unhacked and a bunch of the security was down, Charlotte stomped over the closest wall and smashed right through it. Afton was of course there waiting in his majorly beaten up armor. We'd got a bunch of rounds with it already, remember, so it was pretty torn up.
Call that the
Wait, had he been stuck in armor this whole time, since the last time children had fought him? Yeah, it sure seemed like it. But remember, he's a crazy serial killer. He did a lot of weird stuff. But who did he eat? And did he defecate in his suit? Now that you mention it, it did actually kind of smell like that, to be honest, but who knows? Some suits you can do that in and it disposes of it for you, but remember, I didn't build this guy's suit, so I didn't know everything it could do.
Yeah.
Anyway, his suit wasn't no match for Charlotte, especially with the Freddy mech and with me and my own mech backing her up. But to be honest, I let her take the lead on this one. Something about Charlotte wailing on Afton was real satisfying to watch. Honestly, I get that. Bet people who played the games in my universe would love to see that too. A child beating up child murderer? Does sound quite satisfying to myself as well. Agreed. It was indeed, and Afton eventually realized he was no match for the kids, so he set his suit to self-destruct so it would explode and take us all down with him. How do you know he did this? Presumably it did not work, as you are here alive telling this tale. He did that classic villain sort of thing, monologuing what he was doing, but as he said that was his plan, Greg and Mikey ran in, and Mikey just went right up to him and stood in front of his dad, saying if he was gonna kill these kids, he'd have to kill his own kid too. Making a morality play at the serial kid killer.
That is.
It doesn't exactly seem like a good move to me.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it struck me as a bit of a Hail Mary too, and didn't really work out as he hoped. Afton grabbed Mikey around the neck and said, so be it. He was about to blow up right there, but that whole distraction had given Charlotte a sec to bolt over to him, grab Mikey away, and toss Afton straight up through the roof into the sky. His self-destruct still went off and totally destroyed the roof, dropping a bunch of rubble on us all. But those of us in mechs was obviously safe, and we managed to protect Greg and Mikey just fine. So after digging ourselves out for a bit, we was all okay. Except for Afton, of course.
Everyone lived.
Don't buy it. I bet he's still alive somewhere. I'm pretty sure he's dead, seeing as how I found his head in the busted up part of the helmet. And, you know, there was blood and guts kind of splattered all over the place.
Yeah.
His head, huh? Well, I guess that does sound pretty definitive then.
Yeah, I think
too
he's
often
dead.
find decapitation to be fairly definitive evidence someone has been killed.
I mean, who wouldn't?
In most cases. Yeah, it was a pretty sparkly ending, all things considered. Mikey even ended up taking in that Greg kid, so he wasn't homeless no more. All the kids went home, didn't even want their mech armors no more, so I got to keep them and reuse the parts for other stuff.
Sweet.
So, there you have it, the end of the Freddy Mech Band Friends tale. The Charlotte Emily tale is probably a bit more fitting, but I guess that's not as catchy. Okay. Wait a minute, aren't you gonna show us what Afton's armor looked like? Right, sorry, I don't got no pictures of that one.
Sorry,
I didn't build it, remember? It was made by this guy, Robotnik, from Emerald Central City.
Wait, Robotnik?
Are you kidding me? You got Sonic characters in your universe too? What, you know about that superhero Sonic? Is that like a video game in your world too? That's crazy. You know, sometime we really gotta grab dinner, go over all the weird coincidences between our universes, maybe see where the evening goes.
I'm calling it now. Benny Shop's world is like
if you're gonna keep asking,
metaverse.
Let's just do it. But I bet this won't go nearly as well as you think it will. Whoa, you're actually saying yes this time? That's great. Hey, come on, what's the worst that could happen? A gopher shows up and shoots at us again? I might have just jinxed us there, actually.
I don't get the whole thing about the gopher. I think that's an inside joke from a previous video. But hey, Glam Mech Chica, boom. And
so that concludes another FNAF focused series, and now I feel a little bit freed up to do some other stuff with Five Nights at Freddy's characters. So,
Can't wait to see what you do next.
Suggestions as always. Though admittedly right now my mind is very much dug into the Backroom supervillain series that I'm writing. I really like the tale that I have mapped out for that, and I highly recommend checking out the first video because the sequel is coming out on Monday. And even if you know nothing about Backrooms, I really think you'll enjoy the story. Or of course, if you're new here, you could check out some of my other FNAF
DJ
stuff,
music,
like
man.
the first 2 episodes in this Mech Armor series. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note. And the thought I want to leave people with today is the idea that you shouldn't overlook how useful baby steps can be when headed towards a goal. Taking baby steps towards something is still progress, and it's better than doing nothing. And the more
even I get that.
More baby steps you
simply saying, and no matter how small the false step is, it will always take you to the biggest goal in your life. Anyway, folks, that is where we're going to end off today's video. I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the description will be a link to the original video, so remember to support the original creator and all they do, and I'll see all of you folks next time. Have a good one out there.